Hello and welcome back to the Beer Ladies podcast. We're on episode number 2. And today we are doing a seasonal beer tasting. We thought it might be fun to take a few beers that each of us have chosen and talk about them and taste them on air, so to speak, and give you some thoughts. Now, seasonal sort of means anything at this stage. It means Halloween, it means Oktoberfest, it means fall or autumn. So we've got a bit of a mix, and we hope that you'll enjoy along with us. Now, let's introduce the co-host for the day. I'm Thandi. Now, today we've got Carolyn.
Hi.
We have got Sarah.
Hi there.
And we have Bean.
Hey.
Welcome, ladies. We're going to have an awesome time, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
You think
Cheers.
we're drinking beer?
We definitely will.
Have an awesome time.
Exactly. We're going to have a bloody great time. And we've got 5 beers to drink, so it's going to be awesome.
Oh.
So here's how it's going to work. Instead of doing a typical what you're drinking segment, this whole episode is what you're drinking. So we're going to start with Carolyn. Carolyn, you've chosen a beer for us. Can you tell us which one it is and take us through why you chose it?
Yes, I chose the Paulauner Oktoberfest beer. I picked it because I couldn't go to Oktoberfest this year, and this is the best time to drink it. So,
did you have tickets to Oktoberfest?
No, I just wanted to go.
Yeah, I was
gonna buy tickets, but then there was no point because the pandemic hit in March, and I was like, okay, nope, not going.
Yeah,
so, and then
true.
they canceled it, which it's serious when the Germans cancel October.
well, that's what they said about us and Paddy's Day. So
yeah,
you do know it's serious.
Fair enough.
Okay, so Carolyn, this is obviously an Oktoberfest beer, and as far as I know, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, they only brew this as Paulauners. They only brew this for this time of year.
Yes, that's the information that I know. Yes.
Fantastic. Now, I might just fill everybody in if you don't know it, but the Oktoberfest is a fest beer and it's a lager. So we've actually got 2 lagers today. This is a lighter lager, and I think it's just really meant to be super sessionable and drunk in the last bits of sun. Yes,
and quantities,
and in
very
great
light
quantity. So what's our ABV on this one?
In the Paulauner tent with pretzels,
right?
And vice versa.
6%.
Not quite as sessionable as we thought initially.
German stuff. It's sessionable for the Germans.
Yeah, but
right.
I think it's 6% because I know you're going to drink a lot of it. So they keep it at a decent.
I have to say, I just love the way this smells. It just smells like beer. And
it smells, and it has a caramely, well, to me, it has a caramel.
It's a dumb thing to say, but it's so good.
No, but I don't think it's a dumb thing to say, because I think a lot of us grew up with lagers, and effectively that sort of barley corn kind of aroma is just exactly what beer smells like. It wasn't always super hoppy or super malt forward beers. It was this kind of thing, right?
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of, kind of summertime or the end of summertime, and then when it's just kind of warm and you can get that beer smell in the air, and you're just I just want to have a bite right now.
Yeah.
Oh God, yes. Meanwhile, we're here in lockdown still.
Like the rest of the world.
Like the rest of the world. So we can only dream about being at Oktoberfest or anywhere else in the world. At least we've got the beer to go with it.
Yeah, exactly. I love this beer that you picked, Carolyn. It's really excellent.
Thanks,
I agree.
Guys. I drank it at Oktoberfest 2 years ago, so I figured we needed an Oktoberfest beer since...
Instantly transported.
Yeah.
It's really light. It's just very light. I can see how this is an Oktoberfest beer, especially if you're drinking quite a bit.
Yeah.
Hey, Bean, have you ever been to Oktoberfest?
I have. And I think it was in about 2012. And I still have one of those little gingerbread hearts from it.
Oh,
that's so cool. So
I wouldn't eat it.
For those listening, behind Bean is a door, and her gingerbread heart is hung up there, which is clearly part of her seasonal decor.
Decorations. Oh yeah, we had a good time in the Paulauner tent.
I can imagine.
Yeah, Jinx.
I think I'm the only person that's not been to Oktoberfest.
Next year.
But you know what? We
Yeah.
actually went for 24 hours on the advice of a dear friend, and it was not a good idea. So we did not get a hotel. We just
Oh,
God.
no.
Wow.
No.
Ryanair 24-hour warriors. Never
Oh my
again. Too old.
Holy
I would do that like
smokes.
10 years ago, but now absolutely not. Get me a
Yeah, this
hotel room,
fortunately
please.
was like 10 years
Yeah.
ago.
Oh,
Like, I
gosh.
think I'd probably do it, but I
Almost.
just probably wouldn't make my flight home.
Oh man.
Oh,
I'd be passed out completely.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
no, I definitely have never flown hungover, nor do I want to. That just sounds like the worst experience
It's not pleasant.
It
ever.
was cheaper.
mm.
Yeah, but sleep versus cheap.
Yeah,
I'll
I am
pay
now
the
too old.
extra
So
80
I was
bucks.
gonna say,
lockdown Oktoberfest is absolute my. Can I try that
Yeah.
again? Take two. Lockdown Oktoberfest is my jam. I'm into it.
Yeah, because we can just crawl into our own beds.
Yeah.
so it's actually really funny because I saw a tweet from our mutual sort of friend Paul, and he had tweeted something about Locktoberfest, and I thought that's exactly what this is. It's Locktoberfest.
Yeah.
Happy
Yeah.
Locktoberfest,
Yes, happy Locktoberfest, ladies.
dear
Happy
listeners
Oktoberfest.
and
Locktoberfest.
co-hosts and
and everybody who's
club
drinking
members.
along.
Oh, that's so good.
I do love this beer.
Yes.
It's such a good beer.
Now, and then we're
is.
talking about Oktoberfest, and we were also meant to go to Oktoberfest in Munich this year for the first time. I've lived in Germany and I did Oktoberfest there, but this is the first time we were going to go to Munich, and of course we can't go, and I'm just so heartbroken because we actually have a friend who lives there and would let us stay, and I'm like, it was the ideal situation. So, gosh, when this is all done, we're going. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a crazy year.
Oh, yeah. Next year, I think any festival is going to be nuts because
Knock on wood, hopefully we can do anything.
this is happening next year. If it doesn't, I'll cry.
Guys, yeah, I don't want to be Debbie Downer or anything, but what's guaranteeing that it's not going to be kind of the same
Nothing's
situation next year?
guaranteed.
No, honestly, like even now I get emails about festivals that are rescheduled into next year, and I'm like, who's buying these tickets? Like, why would you want to risk putting your money out there not knowing if you're going to get it back? Because so many people had issues getting refunds from airlines and whatnot this year. So I'm like, I'm waiting and seeing.
You know, I luckily didn't have any trips booked, or at least none that I'd booked plane tickets for, but I had a concert in June that I was supposed to go to in Poland for System of a Down, and I still have not heard, firstly, a cancellation, and secondly, anything about a refund. So I'm like really annoyed, and I've tweeted at these people sort of saying, what the hell's going on? But all of the European tours were booked by a specific company, except for this one. So now I'm and they're clearly not very active on Twitter or anything. So I'm a bit nervous that I've lost that cash. And I had Golden Circle tickets. I was really excited.
Oh man,
no, it was like on my bucket list, man. Oh well.
bummer.
Yeah,
It was good beer.
All right, should I give
That's
a little history
delicious.
about this beer?
Yes, give us a little.
Oh,
bit.
All right,
for sure.
So
Hit me with that history.
Okay, Oktoberfest beers were served at the festival were originally Marzen beers, which were indigenous Munich Dunkles. These were supplied by local breweries, and then that changed in 1872 when Josef Sedelmeier introduced the amber lager to Oktoberfest, and he first made this in 1871 using Venice recipe as a template. And then in March 1872, he brought this out into the world, and they made it into Oktoberfest.
Cool. That's interesting
awesome.
about it being like a Viennese kind of recipe.
Yeah.
I don't
know. It's very good though. I mean, I feel like over time it's probably got away from that, but originally that's what it was.
Yeah. I actually don't know much about Oktoberfest except that it's the celebration of, I guess, the end of summer, and you drink all lovely beers, Oktoberfest and Märzens and lovely,
so actually,
lovely beers.
Oktoberfest celebration was the marriage of Crown Prince Ludwig I of Bavaria and Princess Therese of Saxon-Heidelbergenhaus.
Sorry, Germans.
Sorry, Germans. I'm trying
Your
here.
name was too long.
I'm trying really hard to pronounce it correctly. So for any Germans out there, I apologize for me butchering these names.
But that's okay. So that's cool. So it was originally to celebrate a marriage.
Yeah.
Wow. Man,
That's kind of lovely.
So
That is
I
kind of
mean,
lovely.
it's kind of cute. And
Mm.
now it's a beer festival where we all go and drink and have a grand old time.
Mm. Have you seen all those videos where the kind of the beer maids, I guess, like carry 25 like millions of pints? I mean, it's crazy how much they carry.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
No.
It's hard enough carrying one sometimes.
Too.
I think they train for that.
They do.
They have
All
to, because
September.
that's a lot of beer. Like those steins are heavy because they're like straight up glass on top of the beer. Yeah, they're heavy.
And they're thick.
Oh yeah.
I haven't been to Oktoberfest, but I've been to Munich, and we're at the Hofbrauhaus, and like it was one of the greatest things ever to get served like a liter of beer. I was like, what is this place? I love it. Oh my god.
I remember one time I was with some friends of mine, and we were in Miami, and we went to a German restaurant, and my friend this was right after the movie Bierfest came out. If anybody had seen it, and he was so excited, he ordered a boot of beer, I think, and they had to take his license because while he was drinking, in case he ran off with the boot, because people wanted to steal them. But I just always think about like the boot of beer at Oktoberfest or in Bierfest. There's like, turn the boot.
Yeah. Well, I know at the Hofbrauhaus you have to put a deposit in for your stein, but I'm pretty sure maybe at Oktoberfest they make you do it too. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing in all German festivals. You would pay a little. It's called a Pfand, Pfand. So
okay.
Deposit. Yeah, it just means deposit. Except I go to Christmas markets, and then I just keep the mugs because they're so cute. I don't care.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't make novelty mugs and expect that you're going to keep all of them by the end of it.
Yeah,
it's true.
Totes not a criminal. Hashtag.
This was a good choice.
This was a great choice.
Excellent choice.
Are you guys nearly ready for the next one?
I am.
Great.
Yeah, I have
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so ladies, we are on to our second beer. Right. We've got a Dunkle. It's a rather old-fashioned looking label. And it's got some kind of almost like monks on it. It's really quite cool. This is my choice for a beer. And the reason that I chose this beer for a seasonal kind of option was because I love lagers and I love Weiss beers, and actually, goddamn it, I love all beers. But because we're getting into darker beer season, I thought it might be nice to have a darker lager. You don't always see darker lagers around, and a Dunkle's lovely because it's often got kind of a caramelly or a toffee note to it, rather than just being roasty or toasty. Now, I haven't ever tried this one, but I'm hoping it delivers on all of that. I'm hoping it's kind of malty, but not super heavy.
These aren't my favorite.
It smells nice and malty and
my
roasty.
Personal opinion, these aren't my favorite.
Color's pretty.
Yeah. So
the color's beautiful.
Said it smells roasty toasty.
Yeah.
Well, certainly after having the Paulauner, it's roasty toasty as anything, right?
Yeah.
The color is a very lovely amber.
It is.
The Paulauner is just so light compared to.
Well, it tastes light, even though it's like 6%. And this guy, let's see what this one is. It's 5.6 actually, so it's less alcohol actually. Now this was probably when I started really getting into beer. This was the kind of beer that I would have really liked. So still, I like lagers because they finish off really crisp, and that's what I think is so cool about them. But I like the fact that this one's sweeter. It's almost got, I don't know, like stone fruity kind of characters on it. It's rich, but it's not cloyingly sweet. If that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like it.
You were talking about the label. It is very pretty. I love the art on it, and it reminds me of that subreddit. I can't remember the name. It's monks looking at beer. No, monks looking at beer or something like that.
Oh my word!
That
sounds like a subreddit I need to subscribe to.
I just love that art. Also, I just noticed while looking at this, they actually list the calories, and I would love to know why beers don't list calories on their cans more often,
because it would put people off.
But I don't want to know. I don't want to know the calories when I'm drinking or eating food. I just want to enjoy it. Like anytime restaurants put, "Oh, this is 1,200 calories," I'm like, I don't care. I just want to eat it. Like, why are you making me feel bad about my food choices? Don't make me feel bad about my beer choices either. I don't want calories. I don't want to know.
But you were also saying, you were also saying about like a maltiness to this. And when I first tasted it, I tasted the maltiness, but now I feel like I've lost it. But I don't really like malty beers.
Yeah.
But this is really nice.
Maybe because it's a dark lager and not an ale. You know, because with ales they normally have like estery, sort of fruity notes at the end of some kind, and lagers are normally more bready. And for me, that, I don't know, that offsets the sweetness maybe a little bit better. I don't know. I could completely be talking horseshit, obviously.
I really smell malty in my nose, like
but I don't
the front
taste it.
part initially.
Yeah.
But then, like later on, I feel a lot of like tongue carbonation.
Yeah.
Feeling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know what that's called, but
but it should be
tongue carbonation feeling.
Quite highly carbonated. I mean, normally lagers are medium to high, medium high carbonation. Mine looks actually a bit flat. I think maybe I got a bit of a dud there.
Oh, mine's pretty carbonated.
You just didn't pour
that much
as vigorously. I keep thinking maybe I should just pour more, but we've still got 3 beers to go.
I do. The carbon, it's like a bubbliness. Yeah. Cool.
Oh,
I also made sure I have like a glass of water next to me. So
smart.
There's also, I was like, should
Very
I
clever.
have my crackers between beers? I'm not sure.
I mean, you can if you want.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see me eat or hear me eat.
We'll have like cracker ASMR sounds. I don't know.
Can we please have an entire podcast of ASMR drinking beer?
We were talking about this.
Yeah,
or Sarah was
absolutely.
There's some weird shit out there in the ASMR world. This is not even near the weirdness part of ASMR.
That's true.
So
okay, so Beer Ladies spin-off ASMR channel.
There's going to be some weirdos listening to that podcast.
Me,
maybe not.
Bean, are you an ASMR fan?
Not yet, but I will be after this podcast.
It's some of it's really weird, but I don't know what it is. Some of them really help me get to sleep at night.
I'm loving the Tranquil Illusionist, which is normally the Illusionist. I'll try and remember to link her in the show notes.
Awesome.
Helen Saltzman does a wonderful show called The Illusionist, and she's been doing like reading words gently to lull you in pandemic times. It's very good.
Really?
That's interesting. I think a good gateway drug to ASMR is what's his name? The guy that paints Happy Little Clouds.
Bob Ross.
Yeah, Bob Ross. Bob Ross. He's like the gateway drug to ASMR for people who don't understand what it is. Watch an episode of Bob Ross, and then he will lull you to sleep. That's basically it.
Sarah, I think you've actually just blown my mind, because I genuinely don't understand ASMR, but I always did love watching Bob Ross. And I don't know if I love to listen to him, but I love to watch him because he's so relaxing.
Yeah. It's the sound of the paintbrush against the canvas. It's just, and he's very soft spoken and calm.
Yeah.
We've talked about beer and then we go into ASMR.
Yeah, well, it happens.
This is why we decided to start a podcast, guys. because the randomness will find us.
Yeah.
We tried to stay on topic, but
But
Not
really,
all the time.
No, we don't.
two test quantities of lager will do it for us.
3 beers to go, Bean. 3 beers still.
I'm ready. I was born ready.
Yes.
I got my
You're not
trouble
ready yet
glass.
for that. Yeah, we're not there yet though.
Okay.
Just having a nice relaxing dunkel.
No, this is really lovely, I have to say. I was not sure what to expect with this, but I enjoy it more than I thought I would.
Yeah, because
Must be the company.
Yeah.
Sorry, Thandi, I'm talking over you.
No, don't worry. I'd never tried this one, so I'm actually chuffed with it. And I definitely wanted something German themed but darker. That was what I was going for.
Yeah. It's not my cup of tea.
Fair enough.
I prefer the Oktoberfest, but
maybe Lisa would like it if she likes bitters. Maybe you will like some of the upcoming sweet stout porter chocolate coffee yummy bits at the later portions.
We'll see. They're sitting right next to me warming up a bit. I have them near the radiator, so maybe they'll won't be as cold.
Cheapers, how much like how warm do you want them, Carolyn?
Well, no, the radiator's behind my couch, and so yeah, it's on right now.
Oh, that's nice. Our radiator in our living room is broken,
so we turned it on.
So not thank God. I mean, I'd rather not be in the situation, but at least we work together like 5 feet from each other with all these monitors. And I'm like, well, maybe we'll be warm this winter because the radiator's broken. Body heat.
I'd kept my stouts just in the box that they came in. So they were room temperature. My house is fairly cold, but it's the right temperature for a stout. Like it's that temperature, not so warm, and not freezing cold. The other ones I put in the fridge.
Good for you. All about the sweater.
Speaking of sweaters, can I show you guys my hoodie?
Yes.
Look.
Oh, is this the one that you designed, Thandi?
Oh, yes. Cute. It is one that I designed, and it's got a pumpkin. For those who can't see right now, it's got a pumpkin that's got a witch's hat on it, with some bats, and a pumpkin ale next to it. And at the bottom, you can't see it, but it says it's never too early, because it's never too early for Halloween or for pumpkin ale. And that's my political stance of the week.
It's cute. I like it.
No, it's really cute.
I actually really love it. I was so happy when I got it, because I needed to also test the quality of the actual hoodie, the design and the size and the hoodie. I've got to test all these things, but the hoodie itself, I am absolutely thrilled with. It's thin but warm. Like it's not one of those like super heavy and thick and scratchy ones. It's like so soft and fleecy on the inside, and it's really warm, but it's thin. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm so thrilled.
I'm gonna have to look at getting one because I really want another hoodie. Because I need something. I need new clothes. I know we're not going anywhere, but I would love to just have something new and shiny to walk around the house and be like, look at this. My friend Thandi made it.
So I totally understand the need for new clothes, because I feel like I've worn the same clothes. It's been jeans and t-shirts and things in the house. And even though every day for work, I get up and I put a face of makeup on, and I generally try and dress home professional, if that was ever a category of clothing. And I do mean I put on actual jeans, not like jammy pants with a collared shirt. But even so, like things just get worn down. So it's nice to have a new thing every now and then.
Yeah, I at the beginning of this pandemic, it was definitely casual leggings, shorts, t-shirt, sweatshirt, sports bra. Now I'm like, no, I don't know. I just feel like trying to make a little bit more of an effort. I feel more in the mindset of working if I put like an actual bra on with a wire and then like pants and like, I don't just a little bit of something to make myself feel more like, okay, I'm in work mode.
I genuinely think that that's the trick, is like kind of separating your days so that you're in work mode and dressing up for it and acting as if you're going to work. And I think I've spoken about it a few times in various places, but I've come to be that person that tries to at least enforce videos during my meetings, the ones that I'm running, because I know that if people don't have their videos on, they're not paying attention. And I don't care if you're in your pajamas, and I don't care if you haven't put makeup on, or if you're not shaven, or if you're looking as scruffy as you want. For me, if you've come to work looking like that, that's on you, actually. If you're comfortable working like that, that's great. Then be on video, own it, do whatever you need to do, but don't hide behind your name and a picture on a video, so that you can slack off when we need you. Like, I don't know. That's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think it's actually kind of awkward when you're on Zoom and if you're talking to somebody but you can't see their face, because I need the visual cues to bounce off of. It really throws me off if I can't see somebody.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess we have meetings all the time where we don't share our video, but a lot of time we're like sharing the screen, so like there's no point in sharing the screen and having video as well.
Like, I get you, but often in meetings I'm sharing the screens as well, but I feel like it's a psychological thing. If you don't have your video on, it's like license to multitask.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just a psychological thing. So I try, I tell the guys who are at least mandatory in the meetings that videos are, I don't want to say mandatory as well, but
yeah,
I really would like for people to have their videos on because it makes a difference.
Yeah.
Highly encouraged.
Highly encouraged.
All
right, ladies, that was our Dunkle lager. What did we think of that one overall? Besides Carolyn, who didn't like it.
Yeah.
I think I give it a 6 out of 10 on a scale that has no meaning.
Fair enough. Bean, how about you?
I'm trying to think what I would pair it with, because it certainly seems like it should be paired with something. It's got that malty,
I was
bitter,
going to say cheddar, like a sharp cheddar.
Yeah.
Yeah, cheese platter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now since we were talking about Oktoberfest,
chutney.
all I'm thinking about is soft pretzels and some cheese and those first two beers.
Like beer cheese. Like I would want beer cheese.
Yeah.
I think that's so cool.
If nobody has had beer cheese, you have to try it. It's like the best thing in the world.
It's two of my favorite things, and I actually haven't tried it. It's sad. I know it's absolutely embarrassing.
You have that to look forward to in your life.
Plenty.
You haven't
beer cheese with a pretzel is the best thing.
Yum.
It's sexual.
I'd settle for beer and a cheese pretzel.
Okay, listen, on a slightly different sexual note, I'm going to open up this can at the mic so that we can get the ASMR sounds fully fledged, okay? So we'll see how it goes.
Are you sure you didn't just like put in the canned
theme?
Good
pop.
No, that was live on stream. Live on
Wait, I'm about to do mine.
Okay, so nice. So what we've got here, we have got Trouble Brewing's Pumpkin Brew. Now, for those not in Ireland, okay, there are exactly 2 pumpkin beers this year, and this one was released first, which is why it is in our podcast. The other one is coming up in a podcast at a later stage. Yes. So the can is lovely. It's a really vibrant sort of orange, and it's got some geometric shapes. And
oh my god,
explain
that smells so good.
It smells like a candle.
Nice. So we've got we've got Pumpkin Brew. Of the two pumpkin ales that are available this year from the Irish breweries, this is our first, and the only one that we're tasting tonight. The other one's coming up. Now I wanted to tell you guys tell you a little bit about Trouble. I don't know them that well, but I know that they're in Kildare, and I know that for their pumpkin ale, they grow their pumpkins themselves. They don't rely on any canned goods or any imported pumpkins or anything, which is super impressive, and I really like that about them.
Showing the can on the screen for anybody. Yeah, they have
for
their
people
label
watching
is
on
their label. They have redone their labeling. I really like it actually. It's very geometric and abstract, and I just think it's really cute.
I also like their branding. It's very cool, and it stands out a lot, like really, really well. Bright colors, geometric shapes, very simple and clean.
Very consistent across all the flavors.
I have to say, this smells like a pumpkin beer should smell.
Yeah, it does. It does. This will be my first. This will be my first taste of it.
Mine too.
It smells spicier, more of the spicy. Like if you think for Americans would probably know it the most, pumpkin spice mix. This is more spicy than pumpkin-y, but it's still pumpkin spice, if that makes sense.
So I get a lot of clove in this one. A lot of clove, bit of nutmeg. I don't get as much cinnamon as I thought, but it is, as you say, Sarah, it's spicy, and that's lovely.
Yeah. There's like a bite at the back of my throat.
It's a beautiful deep amber, and it's clear. It's absolutely clear. Mine is anyway.
Yeah, mine is too.
Yeah, mine is pretty clear.
It is like a very orange toned amber.
Which is cool because a pumpkin ale just kind of is that. I always think that pumpkin ale really should be like an orangey, ambery color. Like it's going to be true to the ingredients. Very spicy, a lot of clove. I
have to say, I'm so glad we chose this one to try tonight. It has been a long week. I have been looking forward to this.
Oh yes.
Oh,
Carolyn, what do you think? You're not.
I'm indifferent about it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I don't think I could drink a whole can of it.
Fair enough.
I'm probably going to be like the negative person, and people will be like, "Oh, she just hates everything." But I don't, guys. I promise.
No, actually, when you say that, I do really like pumpkin beer, but it is one of those things that I would not have more than maybe 1 to 2 at a push, 3 in a sitting. It is kind of on the sweet side.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just it's just one of those ones you don't want too much of. Also, I really just want to savor it. I just want the one to be like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah. I think like as I'm drinking it, it's getting a bit better. Like at first it was like punch in the face. You're like, oh wow. But as I'm drinking it, it's not as like
I mean, if you had to blindfold me and let me taste this beer, I would hopefully guess that this is definitely a pumpkin beer. Like it's
absolutely
very much on the mark, right?
Yeah.
And speaking of pumpkin ale, I think 2 of our other co-hosts on the show, Christina and Lisa, have both written articles about pumpkin beer that are very interesting. I was reading through them earlier. Lisa's is on Serious Eats, of all the amazing websites in the world. And Christina wrote on, what was it, Taste?
The Taste?
The Taste? Yeah.
Particularly about this Trouble Brewing pumpkin.
We'll link it in the show notes because they're both very interesting articles. And Lisa's is about like the history of how pumpkin ale came to be.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes. Yes, our Lisa and Christina, who you'll know from episode 1.
You know, and I'm just going to bring it up because it always comes up every single fucking fall.
Bring it.
Is people who are like, oh, I love pumpkin beer. And then other people who are like, oh, pumpkin beer is the worst. Oh, it's so basic. And it's like, can you just let people enjoy things? Like, let me just enjoy my pumpkin beer. Let me enjoy my pumpkin spice. It's once a goddamn year.
Also, I don't really understand the hatred for pumpkin and pumpkin spice, and I don't understand this whole like basic bitch connotation for it. I really don't. I mean, it's a seasonal thing, just like a winter ale, just like particular sours, or just like anything, and it's awesome. And if anything, it's the time of year that you want to find the positive, because going into winter isn't everybody's favorite. I mean, for me, it's certainly not, because we're going into lots of darkness, and actually it's hella nice to have something really cool to look forward to. Cozy fires with a nice pumpkin ale or pumpkin spice lattes, like they're lovely. I don't get the hate, man.
I think I guess the way I see it is a lot of men hating on it because the connotation between being a basic bitch who likes Starbucks pumpkin spice lattes and pumpkin spice everything, and they walk around wearing Ugg boots, which is also, what year is it? Also, Uggs are super nice. My feet are warm, guys. What is wrong with Uggs?
Yeah.
And it's just that connotation, and it's kind of, I feel like it's a sexist thing, but I also don't know. I also don't pay attention anymore, because let me just enjoy the things I like, and I don't care what you think anymore. Pumpkin beer is good.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. Haters gotta hate.
Good. Yeah, haters gonna hate. You're right. But
although I do see kind of
good.
I kind of understand a little bit. I don't understand having the time to hate a lot, but I do understand like the other side of like what is rare is beautiful, right? I'm just suddenly conscious that we need some Irish people to help pronounce some things in Irish, but there's an expression like what is rare is beautiful, and of course I don't know how it actually goes in the Irish, but like the other side of this only comes but once a year is that maybe there's a little bit of hate because you draw it out, and pumpkin spice season is getting to be like July until February.
I swear I'm here for it. If it was here all year long, I'd still be very happy. And I wouldn't, and it wouldn't be the seasonality that would appeal to me. It would be because I love those flavors all year round.
Maybe
Sorry,
it will
Carolyn,
be. No, I was just saying maybe in 10 years it'll be pumpkin spice season all the time.
Maybe.
We can hope.
Maybe all that will be left to us is pumpkins, and we'll all say, thank goodness, Indigenous people of North America for preserving a few seeds of pumpkins. But
South Africans grow them all year round now, to be fair. So
nice.
I really think we should just go there.
Okay, let's go. Right after this.
And actually, there was only one pumpkin beer in South Africa, but it was available all year round. So that was interesting. And then some breweries would release one as a seasonal beer, but there was a pumpkin beer available all year round, which was really quite lovely. And it was quite a spicy one, kind of like this guy.
Cool. This one says to refrigerate it.
I did that, yeah.
Mine was refrigerated.
I don't know how long you have on it to really enjoy it, or
like refrigerated opening?
Like how long it
Oh, I'm sure it's okay.
Yeah, I was just
tomorrow it'll be fine.
I just was reading the ingredients, and it says cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg. I don't get too much cinnamon.
No, me neither.
I can taste the ginger. Now that you say that there's ginger, I can definitely taste it.
I definitely got clove straight off the bat. So there's like phenols, and then clove, nutmeg. I wish that there was a little bit more cinnamon in it, actually.
Yeah,
just
a little bit more.
Mm.
If they had a little bit more cinnamon in there, and then you could kind of even. I know pumpkin is, for me, it's very Halloween, moves into Thanksgiving, and then into Christmas even. Add a little bit more cinnamon and be more, you could lengthen out how long this beer could take you seasonally.
Oh, interesting. What a cool concept.
I wish I had, and I know I wish I had a little bit more pumpkin. And I know a lot of people put buttersquash or whatever pumpkin beers, but I wish it just had like a tad bit more.
Yeah,
that's just my personal
opinion. I know, since they grow their pumpkins, it comes out every year. I don't even remember if I had this last year, because we were traveling around the time that it would come out, and it's usually when you see it, you buy it, because it goes real quick, this Trouble pumpkin. But I'm trying, in the past, I remember one year it being kind of watery. It wasn't bad, it was just watered down for me. But this year it feels like the spice is really pumped up, and so I think that's why this Trouble pumpkin ale in particular for me is always worth getting every single year, because I don't want to say it's inconsistent, but it's always different, and you never know what it's going to be. So
that's got to do with. That's probably got to do with the yield of the pumpkins. It's got to do with everything, because it's never going to be the same.
And the weather, because even crops from year to year. I mean, so
exactly. Exactly.
We didn't even know if this was going to come out this year because of the virus. Like, did y'all even think to plant pumpkins? Because I know we weren't thinking about this months ago.
That's right. And you're dead
good.
right. Like, just the way the sugars concentrate, like maybe even how long you had from the time you pulled the pumpkins off the field, off the vine. Like winter squash can actually be pretty good stored right the way through winter. So
and I
it would
know
change.
That they would always can it, but then in pre-COVID years, you could always go to a couple of pubs around Kildare and Dublin and I don't know where else and get it on tap. And even then there was a difference, but
right.
with the situation, who knows?
Yeah, I would like to try this on tap.
Me too. Yeah. I would
like it might taste a little different. I don't know. It'd be interesting to try the both side by side, one in a can and one in tap. And
one with a little bit of chili.
Ooh.
Right in the tap.
Oh, that could be delicious. Oh my goodness, what a good idea.
That could be fun, hey?
That would be if pubs could open.
And then
pubs
we can
open
get
back up,
pecan pie with it too.
It sounds like we have a problem, but it's like I genuinely miss the social aspect of just sitting in a pub. I don't need to just having a pint in front of me and like a snack and knitting and people watching. I miss people watching and listening to other people's conversations and then the music, and I just really miss pubs.
I also do.
Yeah, I miss just sitting down and like having a 5-hour conversation with the person sitting next to you about everything under the sun. Yeah.
There were times that I'd go walking around town and doing whatever I needed to do. Maybe I was shopping or maybe I was doing something, and like the thought just struck, like, you know what I feel like? I feel like a beer. So I'd walk into a pub, sit at the bar, see what was on tap. I'd maybe try 2 or 3 different things first, and then I'd settle for a pint, and I'd be like, man, this is great. Just on my own, just sitting at the bar, sometimes chatting to the bar person, but literally that sort of spontaneity is no longer.
It's gone. Yeah, no, seriously, that literally just happened to us on this past Saturday. We went out to do a bit of shopping and carrying backpacks and tote bags full of shopping, and we walked past because we didn't understand when the Dublin has now entered this 3rd level, and I'm like, does that mean we have to order food or can we get a pint? And we went up to ask somebody, no, you still have to order food. And I'm just like, I just miss after like 2 or 3 hours of shopping, running errands, to sit down, put my feet up, have a pint and watch like a football game in the background. And you can't do that anymore without buying food. And I don't want to. So
I hate this food rule. I absolutely hate the food rule. Yeah. Okay, who's ready for a beer break and then a beer number 4?
Yep.
Ready.
All right, beer break time.
Hi, this is Hillary, and you're listening to the Beer Ladies Podcast.
We are back from our beer break, which, I mean, we've been drinking beer the whole time. So really it was just like a pee break. So, that's what happens. And up next, we have Bean's choice. So, Bean, what have you got for us tonight?
Right. So, I've got the Nightcrawler from O Brother Brewing. It is a milk stout. It's 4.5%. And it's unfiltered, unpasteurized, unadulterated. It's water, malted barley, oats, lactose, hops, and yeast. And it's, as Thandi points out with her designer's eye, Halloween colors. But mostly I picked it because it was in my kind of click and collect COVID times farmers market neighbor food. And I said, oh, that's accessible to me and it's local. And maybe I was attracted by the orange and black, but mostly I think I just love milk stout.
Milk stout is great.
I don't think
the milk stout I think is the gateway stout.
I don't think I've had a milk stout, so I'm excited.
I hope you'll like it. I full disclosure, I actually tried one already for research purposes.
Exactly.
No,
that's what they all say.
With it?
Smells good.
Yeah.
Well, this is just a microphone check.
That is not too shabby. Honestly.
Ooh.
To lean in. I think I got some milk stout on my face.
That's what she said. Oh.
So what I actually
face phrasing for the win. That was nice.
Oh, I love
it. Well done. Well timed.
I actually really loved this choice for our seasonal beer tasting because it's called the Nightcrawler and it's Halloweeny. It's like
yes.
The can is really orange and black and creepy looking. But
yeah,
it's
it is
Nightcrawler, and it's like, I don't know, man. I think that's really, really cool.
Well, they're just down the road, and to their credit, they had no idea they were going to be featured on our world famous international Beer Ladies podcast.
Yeah.
And they did take the time to give me a little handwritten note.
Oh, wow.
Thanks for your orders and hope you enjoy the beers. Cheers, Barry.
That's
who
amazing.
is one of the three brothers.
Thanks, Barry.
Thanks, Barry.
Yeah,
little edge.
That's very cool. I love personal service like that.
It has like
Barry and Brian and Patty O'Neill. So they've been brewing down there for a while, since 2015.
So 5 years.
2015-ish, I'd say.
That's a good life so far.
Yeah. They say they've been brewing 50 beers.
50? As
50 different beers over the last 6 years. So like Saisons and
That's
Belgian
a lot.
rye. Yeah, coffee porters, double IPAs, and a watermelon wheat.
Ooh, I'd like to try that.
I'm just reading stuff
wheat
off their website.
Yeah,
I did
Carolyn,
not do investigative reporting.
I was going to say watermelon wheat would be interesting to try because I find watermelon usually never tastes like watermelon. It's a very hard flavor.
Yeah, I had a watermelon sour with sea salt, and that was pretty good. It was by Founders, I think.
Yeah, I had that as well lately.
Something zebra.
Yes, I had that as well. It was excellent.
And that was really good with the water. You could definitely taste the watermelon in it. It was a very light hint, but it was enough to where you're like, okay, I'm drinking a watermelon sour.
Yeah, I also think watermelon's an interesting flavor because it can taste really artificial or it can taste really subtle. And I don't know how people get the balance right because it's an interesting flavor. But I think a watermelon wheat could be really cool. Like, what a cool idea.
We're already dreaming of summer.
No, I was going to say, this smells, I don't know. I don't really know how to describe how it smells. Yeah, I was going to say sweet. But it's kind of got like again, I don't know the verbiology. That's not the word. Verbology.
I'm on the journey.
But it's kind of got like a burnt taste to it, I think. Like a toasty roastiness.
Toasty, roasty, caramelized. Oats and barley.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So the only difference between a milk stout and a normal stout is the addition of lactose. So it should be creamier. So creamier than a normal stout, but it should still have like that coffee flavor. So that's probably that roasty toastiness.
Yeah. I would say that's the coffee that I'm picking up.
Often people describe milk stouts as like sweetened espressos. And if you've ever had coffee with condensed milk in it, which is a thing, I always think of a milk stout as something like that. So, you'd think that the condensed milk would make coffee really, really sweet. It adds sweetness, but it doesn't actually make it cloying. It just it offsets the roasty. What's the word I'm looking for? Like the
bitter.
Exactly the slight bitterness, because coffee can be a little bit
harsh
astringent. Exactly. So all the sweetness does is kind of take that sharp edge off and make it a bit softer on the palate. And I always think a milk stout for me is kind of like that. Same with an oatmeal stout, because it makes it creamier. It offsets any sort of sharp corners. I think that's why I like
rounds it out a little bit.
I feel like I need to have more milk stouts to try so I can kind of, I don't know, memorize the flavor palette, what I'm looking for. I really just want like a milk stout lineup. Just
yes,
so I can,
you do.
I know.
I want to come too.
Episode idea, milk stout comparison.
Oh my.
I think that would be really cool.
I'm totes on board with that. I love a milk stout.
We're all
and I feel like I'm seeing,
board.
like, you know, craft beer has all these trends and whatnot. I feel like I'm seeing more and more milk stouts, more things with lactose in them than I used to maybe a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. Or maybe that wasn't just it was just not on my radar. So.
No, I think they did. I think things with lactose did become really trendy when New England IPAs started coming out, because they're really hazy and because a lot of people add lactose to give them the haze. They shouldn't need it, but people do add it because it's kind of a decent way to ensure that haze and that mouthfeel, that creamy mouthfeel of a New England IPA.
Just to mellow it, like.
Yeah, to mellow it out. Now, a lot of people started adding lactose to everything. So, Sarah, you're not wrong. Like, it is absolutely a thing that happened. Sometimes it didn't fit, but people.
But we're in that cycle of the fad,
exactly.
and so we might as well enjoy what works. And
exactly. But milk stouts are not. I guess you get a few more of them now from the craft breweries, but it's the same as the craft breweries who started out with IPAs and are now brewing pilsners or now brewing lagers. Milk stout's always been a style. It's just that it's maybe coming around in a bit of popularity, maybe. Hopefully. I've always liked a milk stout. They're lovely to me.
I think this one's really nice. I don't have anything negative to say about it. I think one would be, I would stop at one, just because that coffee bitterness, the burningness, it's kind of like, it's very intense to me. I would want something next. I would want to change my flavor up a little bit after this one.
Well, fortunately, that is definitely on.
Next. What would you pair this with? Like food-wise?
Chocolate?
Yeah. Ooh, dark chocolate.
Like a dark chocolate?
Yes.
Or like a salted sea salt caramel dark chocolate.
Yeah, it's dessert. It feels
Desserty.
very dessert-like.
Maybe like a chili chocolate mousse.
Oh yeah, or
melting
something
cake.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something chocolate. I don't think I would like pair it with a cheesecake or something. I feel like I don't want to keep it like.
Yeah,
I could even go for like something kind of savory, like start on the burger and then, or the veggie burger. Indeed, the whatever is your thing, and then swiftly move into this as dessert.
Yeah. I'm thinking if this was to be paired with a dessert, I'm just thinking like a brownie with a vanilla bean ice cream, but the brownie
ice cream
is not totally cooked through. It's still kind of gooey in the middle.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I might die, but I don't care. I'm going to eat it anyway.
Yeah, this is one of those times.
I wonder if you could use this beer to make like a really nice sauce.
Oh,
like if you were to
probably, you could.
Like a chocolate sauce.
Exactly.
Somebody's going to have to experiment and let us know.
You could sacrifice a can into a cake for sure.
Coming up next, Beer Ladies Podcast recipes.
Cooking edition.
Yeah. If you wanted to make some desserty bread and you were all out of everything.
You could definitely make bread with this, but it'll have to be a sweet bread. And you could add in some raisins. And if you really wanted to, you could add in a couple of extra chocolate chips, and have almost banana bread is really not bread, but you could go a little bit more dense, so it would be more like banana bready. Use something to make it, I don't know. Oh man.
You're making me hungry.
I know. Candy, you're going to have to make it, and we're all going to come over and try this bread that you have in your head.
No, we can't come over. You're just going to have to throw it at us from 6 feet away.
Yeah.
I wonder if the post accepts like random sourdough loaves, like who knows?
Sure they do.
If they ship beer, they must ship bread, right?
Yeah, and like people ship food all the time, like cookies and stuff, like overseas. So I'm sure you could ship bread.
You know it's going to come back into fashion? Pen pals.
Oh yeah.
I actually have. Speaking of that, I have a friend of mine in Boston who is mailing me some Milk Bar cookies, because Milk Bar, I don't really know everything, but like if you know what Milk Bar is, it's like this place that started out in New York City, and they make really fun cookies and stuff, and it's across the country and across the world, I guess. We kept meaning to go when we were in Las Vegas, and we were going to go to Toronto this year, but obviously we couldn't, and we were going to go to the Milk Bar in Toronto. Couldn't, but now you can find Milk Bar in Target. Sponsor us, Target. She's mailing me a bunch of the Milk Bar cookies that you can find in Target, and I'm just like, tell me what you want. Let me just have a bunch of pen pals, and we can send like potatoes and stuff like back and forth. Parcels. Yes, I love
so fun.
Pen pals are the best.
Yeah, and once you say that, like, I really feel like I could do no better than a squidgy classic chocolate chip cookie. With this.
That would be good.
Just classic.
Like the Nestle Toll House recipe.
Yeah.
Screw up.
Well,
classic chewy.
Bean, you being from Canada, and I've spent a bit of time there, but my favorites were always President's Choice chocolate chip cookies, like the ones with extra chocolate chips. Those cookies, I don't know what made them so damn good, but I've never really loved chocolate chip cookies until I tasted those. And I've only ever found them in Canada. Oh,
I've never heard of them.
Is it Canadian?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. They're Canadian. They're it's a range, if I'm right, Bean. You get like a President's Choice range. It's like Super Value Signature range, or whatever the case is.
Exactly.
It's just a supermarket range, but it's those cookies are divine.
Okay, putting that on my list if we can ever get to Canada.
Yeah, they're really good.
I'll go and stay with my mom.
Give me some Timmy's any day. Give me some Tim Hortons, freaking everything bagel with Swiss cheese and a good old cup of coffee. Oh. I love Tim Hortons. I've never understood Starbucks, but I really do understand Tim Hortons.
Bean, you look so nostalgic right now.
I am.
Like, I want it all. Why do we not have this here?
That's okay. I've been here long enough to be past that point. But yeah, there was a time. Oh goodness.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, I don't fill the suitcase with Kraft dinner every time I go home now, so it's okay.
No, I
think
stopped
it's
doing that a while
funny
ago.
that you call it Kraft dinner. It's just Kraft.
Yeah, it's just
in the States.
That's right, and we have like pockets where like we call stuff pop or soda or
it's just
Pepsi
regular
or Coke
Kraft.
Or give me a Coke.
And in the States it's like, or in Texas at least, it's can I get a Coke?
Yeah, and
it's like could be like, you really want a Sprite, but you just say what Coke do you have?
It's the same thing in Tennessee. Like, so I'm from Nashville and everything is just a Coke, but you have to clarify what it is. Whereas my mom is from Minnesota and everything would be a pop. And then you would delineate after that.
We do say soda a lot too.
How do you say give me a Coke, but like actually I want a Sprite? Like, how do you say that?
Well, if I was ordering, I would say like, oh, I'd like a Sprite. Yeah. But as a collective, it is
it's a Coke. Oh, I see.
Yeah. Yeah. You say what, or like you'll say what Cokes do you have, or like what? Mostly you'll say what sodas. But if somebody says like, do you want a Coke?
It's hard to actually differentiate.
Yeah.
We have all our regional little quirks and differences, and the more it's the different.
How do they call it in South Africa? How do they call it in South Africa? Cold drinks.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so cold drinks.
I would have said, do you want a cold drink? Yeah. Which actually makes no sense if you think about it, because water can also be cold.
I was just thinking
milkshake, and so like a lot of things are cold drinks or cool drink, but and cool drink or cold drink would often be like the fizzy kind.
Yeah.
Whereas a drink might have been, I don't know, man.
It's when you start to think about it, it's like, wait, what do I say? What is it?
And the thing is, like, I never say soda and I never say pop. I've never grown up saying pop, so that's so weird to me. I'd more easily say I'd like a Coke than I'd like a pop. I don't even know how that works.
No idea.
No.
As it goes, pop.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm from the southern part of the US and we just say soda or Coke.
Oh, Carolyn. Dude, you're from Texas through and through, and like
Oh, but even Texas, right? Like, has
Texas
regions.
isn't really the South. Texas is like on its own.
I really wouldn't even classify Texas. Texas is in the South. Is it the South?
No,
probably not.
I put Texas on their own. They're big enough and they can do their own thing. Like Texas is over there doing their own thing, and then I'm over in like the Southeast. So we're close. Yeah. We would meet each other in a bar in New York City being like, hey, but we would also be kind of different.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd be like, oh my God, you're from Tennessee, I'm from Texas. Oh, like there would be like.
Yeah. We would be bonding over the fact that we're Southerners. Yes. And then we'd also be like, we have our own differences.
Exactly. Like there's two, like there's the real UT and the other UT.
The real UT is my UT.
I don't know what we're talking about, but I'm loving it.
All you need to know is to support the University of Tennessee. Go Vols, Rocky Top.
It's the University of Texas. So there's the University of Texas and the University of Tennessee, and they're both. UT is burnt orange.
And mine is don't get shot in the woods while hunting orange.
Yeah, and these states, and they're both abbreviations are UT.
UT.
So we argue all the time about who's the real one because they're just so similar in like colors. Although we have a longhorn. We have a longhorn as our mascot, and we have an actual longhorn. I think we're at Bevo 14 or 15 right now, and they like pick out specific Bevo. Like every time a Bevo dies, because he's there for like 15 years or however long, or retires. I'm telling you about our Bevos. Anyways, we have actual longhorns that come to the games and they stand there.
Oh, we have a really cute bloodhound dog. So his name is Smokey, and he's adorable. And yeah, our orange is not very pretty. It's like the color of bright orange that hunters wear in the woods so they don't get shot by other people.
Yeah.
No, you do have the best.
Is that literally why it's called "Don't Get Shot Orange"? Like "Don't get shot in the woods orange."
It's you wear bright colors so other hunters can see you in the woods.
Yeah, because
you do have the better orange. I actually really like the burnt orange. It's very nice.
And you can find burnt orange now. It's kind of in style, and so you can find not the burnt orange, but close enough to it.
I always have this argument as well with my other Texas friends, and I'm just like, no, we're the better UT. Go Vols.
We just like to joke about it. It's friendly banter.
Yeah.
And then you find yourself in a pub in Ireland, and
yeah.
all the UT differences melt away over a pint of the Nightcrawler Stout.
Okay, ladies and listeners, we're on to our fifth beer, our fifth and final beer. And this one was chosen by Sarah. So, Sarah, tell us what you chose and why.
Sure. So, I chose the Apex S'mores from Wicklow Wolf Brewing Company here in Ireland. They're based in County Wicklow, which is just south of where I live. It is a marshmallow and chocolate oatmeal stout. It's a limited edition. And I was doing some reading about it online earlier. And essentially, it's the brainchild of their brewer, Pete Renier? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. But it's basically, they took one of their core beers, the Apex Oatmeal Stout, and they punched it up a knot with marshmallow and chocolate. So, yeah, I'm about to open it. And it's supposed to have toasted vanilla, caramelized sugar, rich chocolate, supported by a lovely biscuity base and with a smooth mouthfeel. And the reason I chose this one is because s'mores, especially in North America, s'mores is something I would say between summer and fall you eat as a snack around like a campfire. You've got those graham crackers with marshmallow and Hershey's chocolate. It's usually always Hershey's chocolate, although that's not really good chocolate. It is just something that you would snack on next to like I'm picturing like hay bales, flannel, a nice campfire, some snacks, some s'mores, smoke, like when you walk away and the smoke is in your hair, just that like crisp feel in the air. So I'm hoping this will like transport me mentally into that space.
Oh man, that is an image that you're painting. Now I tell you what, I've had an initial kind of sniff of this beer, and it reminds me a lot like of hot chocolate, like of hot chocolate powder. If that's
that smells.
Yeah,
Yes,
it smells like chocolate.
it.
I can smell the chocolate, and that's a good description. Hot chocolate. I was trying to place.
Yeah, it smells literally. It smells like hot chocolate powder before you mix it with milk. Which actually does
smell
make
that
me
all day.
think of marshmallows, definitely. Marshmallow and chocolate oatmeal stout. Yes, I mean,
it smells like chocolate. I'm just like,
yeah,
wow.
That's the proper one to finish up with for dessert. Hey,
this is definitely the dessert beer, guys.
You don't need anything with it. Just drink it by itself. You don't have to pair it with anything.
Actually, I think you're right. This is
I
dessert.
think you're absolutely right.
This is fantastic. I love this beer. I get the chocolate. I get the marshmallow. I am happy.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you get the marshmallow because of the association of flavors, or do you get it as a flavor?
I get it as like a mouthfeel, slight flavor to it.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
slight flavor.
A little bit.
It's a little bit. It's not like in your face marshmallow. I don't know. Maybe it's a mental thing too. I don't know.
I don't know, but this is definitely a good one.
So Carolyn, of the two stouts, which one did you prefer?
This one.
This one.
Because I don't like coffee, so that's probably why I didn't like the milk stout as much. But this one, is more up my. I feel like the oatmeal stouts are more up my alley with whatever variation they put with it. Yeah. I don't think milk stouts are up my alley, but definitely oatmeal stouts.
Bean, how about you? I mean, you chose the Nightcrawler, which doesn't mean that it has to be your favorite, but so which one, if you really had to choose, would be the one that you'd pick?
Oh, well, I'm already sort of invested. In for a penny, in for a pound. I have to go all in on Nightcrawler but I love Wicklow. But I think this is absolutely the one to finish up probably any night with. Any really desserty beer is always the one I want to finish on. Just as a general purpose table dinner something, this one might be just a little bit sweet for me by now. So I probably would say that my gateway brews were Blue Moon with a slice of orange, and
mine too.
Like Rickard's Red and White. And actually, when I came over, this is more than a decade ago, I would order Guinness with the black currant shot, which I know now. I just actually a lady, a fellow girlfriend, kind of handed me a pint. She was like, "Taste this." This is many years ago when we could go to pubs. She's like, "Taste this. This is amazing." And I was like, "Oh, what has somebody done to your poor stout?" And she's like, "It's black currant." I'm like, "Oh," but there was a time, and now, now just the thought of a creamy pint of any description. This s'mores is absolutely delicious, but it's probably a little on the sweet end for my general purpose. But yeah, it's good.
I would say it's interesting that you say it's quite sweet because I don't like really sweet drinks generally. Yeah. But this is is ticking all my boxes right now.
Yeah.
And as
the placement's right.
As we end this with this one, it is, I will say, not only vegan, but 8%.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's the end of the night beer.
Yeah.
So if you ladies don't sleep well after this beer, then I give up,
Yeah. I'm blaming all of you if I don't. Well, this sauce probably has a lot of sugar in it too. No, we're good.
You were also talking about
it's totally
Blue Moon.
Delicious.
You were talking about Blue Moon with a slice of orange as the gateway drug. It was mine as well, or one of mine. And I'm just like, how bad how bad is it for me to put mini marshmallows on top of this?
Oh, that would be so good.
Do it.
Oh, that would be so good. You'd have to put them, puff them up in the microwave, then rescue them very carefully and put them on top.
Yes.
Pump up the marshmallow to another degree.
That would be
turn it up to 11.
Goes to 11. Ho, ho, ho.
So
that was a beer joke.
I always find it strange, and I don't think I'm ever going to be consistent about this, because sometimes I taste something like this and I'm like, you know what, this is freaking delicious, and it tastes like hot chocolate, but cold and berry and all the things, and I love it. And then sometimes I look at something that's like double salted caramel, peanut butter, chocolate, deep fried donut stout, and I'm like, guys, it's meant to be a beer. It's meant to be a beer. Do we really need all the ingredients? And I'm by no means some sort of Reinheitsgebot purist, but I do sometimes wonder, when you're
getting a little excessive.
Yeah, when you're adding a whole bunch of stuff, does it really count as a beer? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not saying that this is one of the things that I'm questioning. I'm just, as in, not this beer, but I know that sometimes I wonder that when I taste something that really doesn't taste like it was made from grains.
Yeah.
Pleasure for pleasure's sake.
Or experimentation for experimentation's sake, because the breweries know that A, it's limited edition, so people are going to want to buy it, and B, they're trying to do something new. They can see what works and what doesn't based on sales or what people comment about it. It's a win-win situation for them. And at some point you're just just eat the food that you're making. I don't want it liquefied.
Sometimes you do, right? Sometimes the phase of the moon is you know what would really float my boat? Some macadamia pecan pastry.
Yeah.
Salted. Yeah. Caramel.
Yeah.
Oatmeal stout.
Yeah, but that may just be it being it may just be whatever phase the moon is in or whatever mood you're in. And maybe the point is to have that variety so that you've got your cravings sorted.
Yeah. And if you're in the niche at the time, if you're doing pumpkin spice or you're doing pecan salted caramel, you do you, and that may change, right? And it almost certainly will change. I don't know, I didn't get into coffee for ages, and if you're not into I don't know, Pilsner yet, maybe you just have that to look forward to on your journey. That's cool.
That's so true, actually.
Yeah, you're just where you are.
Because it really doesn't follow a linear path. It's not lager, then Pilsner, then Pale Ale, then IPA, then double IPA, then...
So it might, figure out what you like. And then you might go, oh, well, I didn't like that a couple years ago. Maybe I'll try it again and see how I like it. And then sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. I don't like IPAs. I've never liked IPAs. I try them and I still don't like them.
I would say that makes you a very unique outlier because IPAs are so popular. So,
maybe, or maybe we should all just be giving styles a little bit of a try every now and then to make sure that it's not one or two bad beers that we didn't like, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's kind of like when somebody who says, oh, I don't like beer. And it's well, what have you tried? And you hear it's always some big brands crap that I'm not saying that they're not to style, but they're not great. And then it's when I introduced my mom to, a craft beer, and she's like, that doesn't even taste like beer. I'm like, yes, I know. It's come a long way since the 70s, Mom. It's much nicer now. So just trying to taste something a little bit every now and then to see, oh, it's a little different. And it's interesting how brewers have experimented. And a marshmallow and chocolate oatmeal stout would never have been something I would have thought of a decade ago. Or even, maybe 5 years ago, but probably 5 years ago. But 10 years ago, no.
It's pretty darn good, hey?
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Bless
Good
Wicklow
choice.
Wolf and all their
It is
hops.
good. Yeah, good choice, Sarah. My
They're
goodness.
growing a bunch of hops in their little patch down there, aren't they? Like they've got
Wicklow? Yeah.
Yeah, they've got a what is it, a north field and a south field, or the lower field and so they're growing some of their own hops. And
I was reading about that, was the sustainability of Wicklow Wolf. And one thing that I thought was a really interesting tidbit on their website was that they aim, I think they aim to have at least 10% of their beers that they produce every year to be health conscious. So like non-alcoholic or gluten-free. And I think the gluten-free aspect is really cool because I actually do have a lot of friends who are gluten-free, not by choice, but for health reasons. They have Crohn's disease and they don't drink beer because it's so hard to find gluten-free beer here or wherever they are. And to have that as an option is something I think a lot of breweries need to start thinking about, because people want to drink your stuff, but they can't. So,
yeah,
that's interesting.
There was a little bit of chat about like lower ABV, lower alcohol things that you could have if you were the designated driver, but you wanted to join in, or expecting, or just really doing it's a school night.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it though. Like I'd rather just not be the DD. Honestly, I'd rather pay for the cab. Like I have too much FOMO. I'm not one of those people. I just can't. When I was pregnant, I gave up drinking, and it was a very, very long 9 months. Very long. But I do, obviously I respect, anybody that wants to rather drive than get a cab or do whatever. Absolutely. And there should be options that are equally tasty. But you see, I'm also a bit of a Scrooge, and I have a bit of a problem paying 4 or 5 euros for something that's got 1% alcohol or 0.5% alcohol, when, even though it probably took more work to make that, but I'd rather just pay that for the beer that's going to get me a little bit pissed.
Yeah.
Straight up. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I never minded being the DD. My rules were, you buy my soda, which, it's like free sodas all night, or Coke. Why did I say soda? I'm from the South. And like buy me dinner or snacks, like make sure I'm fed and watered. And then if I've had enough, if it's like 3:00 in the morning and I'm like, I'm ready to go home, you come with me. It is not a negotiable thing. This is pre-Uber, by the way. But I had no problem staying out as long as you fed and watered me and you weren't a jerk to me whole night. I didn't care being my friend's DD. It didn't bother me, but it was usually reciprocated. So
yeah, some cities are just driving cities and it's hard to get away from it. And
that's true.
Other places, it was actually hard for me to adjust to paying for cabs because I am super cheap. It's terrible.
Me too. Yeah. I would be like, no, let me see how far I could walk and then I'll take the cab so I can save that 2 euros.
But also like at home or Uber just in general, like if I get a cab here, I know what I'm paying based on where I'm at, and it doesn't change every night. Or if I go home at 11 p.m. versus 3 a.m. or 5 a.m., I know I'm paying the same price. With Uber and Lyft and all these other rideshare apps, you could be paying 5 times the amount because there's so many people wanting an Uber or a Lyft or whatever.
Yeah, I sure do feel a lot better when I can catch the last Lewis, but I like the last Lewis. I like the messiness of the last Lewis. I like how everybody's so tired.
So for those not in Dublin or even indeed in Ireland, the Lewis is a tram. It's a tram system that runs through the city. It's not quite as networked as London has or any of the other big cities, but there's 2 major lines. It's a green line and a red line, and it's pretty wonderful. But the biggest and best stories come from the Lewis.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
See, I don't ever take the Lewis because I'm that person that always has to go to the bathroom, so I'd rather take a cab because I can get home quicker.
Totally legit.
Lewis.
I don't ever take the Lewis because I'm always the person that wants to carry on beyond the last.
Well,
Lewis
that
time.
happens too. So I've had 6 a.m. nights out here in Dublin. I'm like,
same.
Oh, the sun's coming up. Oh, I should probably go home.
Same.
I can tell I am suited to lockdown.
I know. Actually,
it's like it's 9 p.m. girls. I'm going to bed.
Not too bad. I enjoy staying home. I don't know. I just enjoy it. I don't like lockdown, but it's also kind of like I'm kind of thriving at the same time. So
I know.
I don't mind it now that it's getting colder because I hate.
You would stay home anyway.
I would not all the time. I'd still like want to go out like once, but like once a week or something. But like in the summertime, you want to be out. You like sun's out till 10 p.m. You want to be out.
Guns out.
Sun's out, fun's out.
You want to be out with your friends at a pub, outside, drinking beer, chilling, going to the park, drinking a beer, etc., etc. In the wintertime, it gets dark at 4:30. I'm already to go to bed because it's dark, but I can't because it's 4:30.
Oh no! I still stay up far too late. Like, yeah.
Good on you.
I'm going to be one of those people that suffers later in life because I don't get enough sleep in my 30s. Oh well.
You'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
Yeah. All right, ladies. Let's have a quick vote for your favorite beer of the 5. Okay. So, favorite beer of the 5 tonight, Carolyn. We're going to start with you.
The Oktoberfest.
The first one, and that was your
first
choice?
one, the one that I picked.
That's amazing. Okay, so why did you like it the best?
I don't know. It's just I'm a lighter beer person, and so maybe that's why I liked it. And I don't know. It was just clean and crisp, and I could drink multiple of those and be fine. The rest of them, I'm like, I could drink 1, maybe 2, but like, yeah.
Fair
enough. Bean, how about you?
Oh, I know that was a proper question and it deserves a proper answer. And I know I said that I like the Nightcrawler the best, but I really enjoyed that Wicklow Wolf so much. It was so good. It was so good. But I couldn't drink too much of it though.
Yeah.
And I loved starting with the being transported back to Oktoberfest. But I really, really, really liked that Dunkle. I didn't know that I would, and I hadn't tried it before. And then there's the What is Rare is Wonderful, the pumpkin. I don't think I can choose one. Like
That's a very Canadian answer.
I know. I kind of want to choose the Dunkle.
Okay.
But I don't feel like I'm familiar enough with that one that I can like genuinely give it my wholehearted A-OK. Because I know that I'll always go back to like a decent milk stout, clean lines, fresh beer, you know.
Yeah.
Everything's on point and good, reliable. But
fair enough.
But man, that Dunkle is pretty good.
Yeah.
Go Germany.
Yeah. Go Germany. Germany had the first.
And also just down the road. Yeah. Go Wicklow and Germany.
Sarah, how about you? What was your favorite?
So it is really hard for me to choose between the Wicklow Wolf Apex S'mores and the Trouble Pumpkin. It is very difficult. I think if somebody put 2 pints in front of me and said, which one do you want another one again of? It is the S'mores from Wicklow because my expectations were pretty high. If you're going to tell me this is s'mores with marshmallow and chocolate, this beat all my expectations. Like this is Trouble was amazing. Don't get me wrong. I loved it. I have more cans of this waiting for me.
Jelly.
Really wish I had more of this waiting for me. And I think I should go online and order some more because this is so good. You guys,
I think you should order some more.
Indeed.
My God, some more.
Give us some more.
Give us more of that.
What about you, Thandi?
So yeah, I've got a bit of a hard time with this one, I think, because I think that in general, I love that Oktoberfest, that Paulauner, and I know that as German brewers go, Paulauner is kind of almost mass produced, mass market brewery, but it was such a lovely beer, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Really, I did. I love that, but I think on the opposite end, the s'mores was a treat. Like it really feels like a treat, and I like that, and I could probably do another one anyway, just for the decadence of it, you know. Actually, I liked all of them though. I did.
I've enjoyed all of these.
I did.
I wholeheartedly agree. I have enjoyed every single one that you guys picked out. Loved them.
I like this idea though, that we pick out a beer, and especially if we've never had it before the night, like it's really cool to see what other people pick out. And I don't know, I've thoroughly enjoyed this Locktoberfest tasting. Don't know about you,
yeah,
Loved
I got to try beers that I would have probably never pick up, and to see if I like them or not. And others I liked, others I didn't. But like that's the name of the game, right? Like you gotta figure out.
That's kind of it, man.
Which ones you like, and I might try another Dunkle and like it versus this one. Like it just.
In a way,
every beer's different.
In a way, it's kind of like, you know, I can't remember the last time I saw you guys in person, and I don't know when I'll see you guys again, and we're all having the same beers. It kind of brings us a little bit closer together. It's just true. Really nice. I don't have
That's actually really true. Okay, ladies, we're going to wrap up this episode now.
Yes, we are.
Should we give everybody at home just ways to follow us or listen to us on places, YouTube, socials, all the things? Sarah, do you want to give us a couple of the accounts that people can follow or look at?
Sure. You can find us now at www.beerladiespodcast.com. You can follow us on Twitter at beerladiespod, Instagram at beerladiespodcast, Facebook, you can find us at Beer Ladies Podcast. I think that might be everything, though.
I think we got one last, and it's the email. So you could email any questions, suggestions, corrections, or indeed just say hi. You know, we're beerladiespodcast@gmail.com. And otherwise, share it, like it, subscribe to it, do all the things, like do what you do with other podcasts. And hopefully we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah. For sure. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. See ya.
Bye.
Oh, good food is good, and good drink is good.
Can we make that the soundbite for the episode?
Good food is good, good drink is good, yes.
And haters gotta hate.